Have you ever thought about the present moment? Some of us are busy thinking about the future or sometimes the past. We're constantly making judgments about what's happening in front of us, whether this is good or bad or if we're anxious. What happens if we build present moment awareness into our daily lives? The results are surprising. Most people end up happier and with a lot less anxiety and stress. Perhaps one of the most famous contemporary figures in the mindfulness community is Thich Nhat Hanh. Born in Vietnam and a survivor of the Vietnam War, Hanh coined the term "lotus in a sea of fire," referring to the way monks remained peaceful while helping those suffering around them during the turmoil of wartime. Hanh then began traveling around the world. He even worked alongside Martin Luther King Jr. Hanh dedicated his life to inner transformation for the benefit of both individuals and society as a whole. Are you interested in cultivating peace in your life and reducing anxiety and stress? If so, check out the following 6 ways to apply mindfulness to your daily life. Number 1, mind your thoughts. Live powerfully in the present moment. Check your thoughts. Practically speaking, this means to acknowledge how you're feeling and then let it go. Don't perseverate with negative thoughts. Don't obsess over the past or the future. Focus solely on what's in front of you right now. There's a famous story that goes like this. A monk told Joshu, "I have just entered the monastery. Please teach me." Joshu asked, "Have you eaten your rice porridge?" The monk replied, "I have eaten." Joshu said, "Then you had better wash your bowl." At that moment, the monk was enlightened. What does this mean to you? It can be interpreted in different ways. One of the most common responses to the story is to understand that we only need to focus on what's happening right now. Don't be overwhelmed by thoughts. Just go and immediately do the next thing that needs to be done. Go wash your bowl. Number 2, when you're struggling with a relationship, begin anew. Most of us have found ourselves in the position of saying the wrong thing in anger, or we've been on the receiving end of poor treatment by someone we trusted. How many nights have we laid awake angry, thinking of what we should have said in an argument? Beginning anew is a mindfulness practice designed to smooth over hurts in relationships and clear our conscience, so we aren't wasting energy stressing over past hurts. To begin anew, start by sharing positive things about the person you're struggling with. Next, share any regrets and apologize for anything you've not had the chance to discuss. After that's done, share the way that you were hurt. Finally, end by sharing something you've been struggling with and ask for support. This simple exercise can be done with the person you hurt or with a trusted partner. It helps to clear your head and your heart. Number 3, when you're angry, mind your temper. When a baby is upset and cries, how does a loving parent respond? They soothe the baby, taking the child gently into their arms and carefully observing to see what could be wrong. The child is treated with tenderness and the anger subsides. We can follow this example to treat ourselves in the same manner. When we're angry, if we withdraw from the source of frustration, whether it be another person or a situation, and refrain from using our tongue, we can then practice deep, slow breaths until we calm down. Afterward, we can take time to observe our feelings and think over the situation to find the root of the anger. The more time we spend examining the reasons behind our anger and frustration, the more we will come to understand ourselves. Understanding leads to love and acceptance, which we will naturally begin to spread to those around us. When another person makes you suffer, it is because he suffers deeply within himself, and his suffering is spilling over. He does not need punishment. He needs help. That's the message he is sending. Thich Nhat Hanh. Number 4, when you're in a group, mind your behavior. In our society, much of our frustration comes from feeling disconnected with each other. Spending time living life with others can help heal that disconnect. However, we have to be mindful of the things we say and how we act around others. Mindfulness practice tells us to think of a group of friends or a family like a garden. Each person brings something unique to the group. Each plant, flower, tree, or bush blooms at a different time in a garden. all are beautiful and useful in their own way. Thinking of a group of people in a similar way helps us remain patient and thoughtful when differences arise. Number 5, have a lazy day. When practicing mindfulness, lazy days are important. What does a mindful lazy day include? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. There should be no scheduled activities at all. Simply let the day unfold while keeping yourself in the present moment. It should be a quiet day to reflect and relax. Perhaps go for a walk or just sit quietly drawing or journaling. A lazy day is intended to be a gift to yourself, time to look for harmony and balance. Number 6, be careful of your ego. Deepak Chopra said, "If you want to reach a state of bliss, then go beyond your ego. Make a decision to relinquish the need to control, the need to be approved, and the need to judge. Those are the 3 things the ego is doing all the time. It's very important to be aware of them every time they come up." Your ego always works to prove your unworthiness. It plays out the negative aspects of your character. Remember, the inner voice of your ego is not who you are. It's only a snapshot of your character at that moment. Look below your ego for your authentic self. Beyond the voice of pride, boasting, anger, and jealousy, there's something positive and good. Acknowledge the voice of your ego, then let it go. You are more than just those impulsive thoughts. Who you are is not determined by your ego or what the world has to say about you. How can we be mindful as a daily practice? Take time to breathe deeply. Focus on breathing with your belly, using the same breathing motions you would make when blowing bubbles for a child. Consciously relax your muscles. Acknowledge your negative emotions, then let them go. Focus on appreciating each moment for what it is. Don't worry about the past or the future, or judging what's happening. Simply go wash your bowl. Remember, being mindful relies on changing your habits. Don't be afraid to stop and reflect on what's going on inside your head. When your body feels tense, take some time to think about what's going through your head. Be present in each moment. And most of all, as Thich Nhat Hanh said, "Waking up this morning, I smile. 24 brand new hours are before me. I vow to live fully in each moment and to look at all beings with eyes of compassion."